Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. Welcome back to another episode of Rando Rob. This is the show for my 16-bit Patreon supporters. Those are the people giving me $10 a month, which is a substantial amount, I think, to support somebody. And so I greatly appreciate you guys. And one of the ways that I am showing that gratitude is by picking one random item out of my office every week and talking about it. It's a totally off the cuff, not written out, not planned show. I actually did a minor bit of research for today's item just to give you some links, some points of reference. But I try to put a picture on the screen there to give you a hint of what this week's item is going to be. And I'm sure you're wondering why there's a box of Count Chocula there. I'm not going to show you a box of Count Chocula. I'm actually going to show you a skateboard deck. And actually, it is a custom skateboard deck. Now, I have been told by everybody in my family, all my friends, family, everybody, that I am a difficult person to buy gifts for. I think in a way that is true. I think the problem is that the minute that I want something, I buy it. I buy things that I think I might want that I end up not wanting. And so when people are like, hey, what have you been wanting? I'm like, I wanted a bunch of stuff this year and I bought it. I bought, I just, especially, man, with the Amazon, I'm quick on the Amazon trigger, just add it to the shopping list, and I do a lot. I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon Prime. So, it's pretty rare that there's something that I've been wanting that I haven't actually purchased. Which means that when Christmas or birthdays or things like that roll around, people, they say, well, what do you want? And they'll ask my wife, what does he want? But she'll tell them he's bought all the things that he wanted. So I get a lot of gift cards. That happens. Some people get me gift cards, which I don't mind, that just lets me go out and do shopping. It's not a very personal gift, I get a lot of stuff that unfortunately I don't end up using. Sometimes I re-gift it, or sometimes it goes into a closet mostly. Just those little things where people go, oh, I didn't know what to get you, so I picked this random thing. But what's funny is if you do know me, you know all the weird things that I collect. And, lots and lots and lots of 80s stuff and Star Wars stuff. I get a lot of miscellaneous Star Wars stuff. Not as much, but I used to get a lot of, Star Wars stuff, just random Star Wars things. So, I told my wife one time, hey, she said, I don't know what to get you for Christmas. And I said, what, when that Halloween store, like Spirit Halloween, those Halloween stores open up, you should just go there and pick out stuff. I would love it. I got a throw blanket that's out there on the couch that looks like a Ouija board. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things. So if you really do know me and you know all the goofy stuff that I'm into, all the 80s things and stuff, then I think that I'm really easy to shop for. I think it would be easy to find something and surprise me, but I have so many things that maybe that's what makes it difficult. I think the most thoughtful gift is when you're talking to somebody and you go, oh man, yeah, I need to get one of those, or I wish I had one, or you see something in a store and you forget about it, but they remember it. And then, Christmas comes around and you get it and you're like, oh, I forgot all about that. And I really wanted that, So I think that those are some of the most special gifts to me. And I've got many of those from my wife over the years, or from my wife. So anyway, I was my dad last year heard about a new thrift store that was in downtown Oklahoma City, and it turns out it was a series of thrift stores. There were 3 or 4 in this. It's kind of a new area that's being rebuilt back up, and it's a very kind of trendy area. And so we went down, and Susan went, my wife. So it was me, my wife, and my dad, and we went walking around. And we walked into this kind of trendy little thrift store, and on the wall were 3 skateboard decks that had been custom painted. So someone had bought an old, I think they're new, to be honest with you, skateboard decks, and then custom painted them. And one was maybe a Frankenstein. It wasn't a character that I recognized, but it was a caricature of Frankenstein. I don't remember what the second one was. But the third one was a skateboard deck with Count Chocula on it. And when I saw it, I was like, that is amazing. And especially if you know me, things that cross multiple genres, I love the 80s. And, those certain kinds of like retro breakfast cereals like Count Chocula and those type of things. But I was also a big skateboard fan, right? So it would just like hit all those things at once. I thought it was super cool. And I looked at the price, and it was $75. Now, when I first looked at it, I thought it was like something that you would just buy from the store. But when I went and looked at it, I could tell. I mean, you could see the layers of paint. Somebody hand painted this thing. It's a custom, one-of-a-kind skateboard deck. And I really struggled that day whether or not to buy it. And at the end, I didn't buy it because I was like, do I need to start collecting skateboard decks? Like, I really don't, But it really did scratch that little retro itch that every now and then pops up, And so anyway, this was, I don't know, September or October, something like that. No. It was during the summer. So this was like June, let's say. And about July, I'm lying. It was Christmas. I have to go back. Because in my family, growing up, we had a rule. We set a moratorium that you were not allowed to buy anything for yourself the month of your birthday, but specifically the month of Christmas. So starting December 1st, you're not allowed to buy anything for yourself. Because if somebody's already done their shopping and you buy it and they've got it sitting in a closet wrapped up to give to you, that's kind of rude. So as of December 1st, you're not allowed to buy anything for yourself. So we had gone there. It must have been in the fall. Maybe it was around October because the Halloween theme kind of makes sense, Man, around November, late November, something like that. I mean, I just couldn't get that thing out of my head. I was like, God, I love that thing. I mentioned it to my wife 2 or 3 times. And finally she said, if it's like you buy so many things, dropping $75 on something. I'm not rolling money or anything, but that wouldn't be surprising for me to buy something like that just because I liked it, And so I went back down there. I went down there and it was gone. And the lady said, no, it got sold. And I was like, oh, And there's no sense in asking, do you have a second one? It was unique, And then she said, but I have those other 2 ones. And I looked at them and I was like, no, I really liked the Count Chocula one. Like, I don't want to drop $75 on something that I don't love. You know what I'm saying? And so I was pretty bummed out and got out of my head. Just forgot about it and moved on. So Christmas rolls around, and so at some point I told my dad that story. I was like, I went back to that place to buy that, and it was gone. And he was like, oh, really? And that was that, So anyway, Christmas morning comes around. My dad comes over Christmas morning, and he hands me this thing that's wrapped up, and he goes, I guess you already know what that is. And I was like, no, I don't know what that is, you know. I don't know why I made him sound gruff. He wasn't gruff about it, but I opened it up, and this is what it was. The weird Count Chocula skateboard. Custom painted. You can see down here that there's the tie, and then it's, I don't know if you can see that, where it's been signed there by the artist. And yeah, it's just probably hard to tell on the screen, but you can definitely tell that it's, you know, I mean, if you feel it, you could feel the layers of paint that you know, it has been. And it's actually not perfect, which I like. Like on the edge here, on the little front edge, there's a little kind of scraped area and a little, you know, so maybe this was a used deck, or maybe it got dropped once or twice or something like that. But this is the deck that I saw and that he surprised me with, which was just an absolutely perfect present. It never would have dawned on me that he would have, hi, Mr. Noodle. The cat's now wanting out of the room. What bad timing. Come here, dummy. So I have we have a cat whose name is Noodle. And we got him from the Pets and People, from the animal shelter, and we had him for a couple of months, and then something happened. He had something like a seizure or something. We don't really know what happened, and his head is crooked now, kind of like this, and we took him to the vet, and the vet said one of two things happened. They said either his inner eardrum burst during that time, which there's nothing they could do, or he may have some sort of tumor or something. And they said we could start doing exploratory surgery. It would start about $1,500, and I just can't do that. So, but the important thing is that we asked is if he's in pain or whatever, and they said nope, as long as so there's something wrong now with his sense of balance, but now he's kind of adapted to it. He gets around just fine, and jumps up on the furniture and comes, and like a lot of cats, he likes sleeping in cardboard boxes. So I have a cardboard box. I should have checked. Sometimes he sleeps back there when I'm not paying attention. So anyway, sidetrack. Back to the skateboard thing. Yeah, it's just it's definitely one of those things that totally caught me off guard. Like, it doesn't seem like the type of present that someone else would get for me. You know, that they wouldn't know because I'm kooky in the head, that certain things just make me happy, you know. And it's that thing of you know, I would put Count Chocula. Actually, there's an episode of Throwback Reviews where Sean and I talked about our favorite breakfast cereals, and I know Count Chocula was near the top of my list. If it wasn't number one, it was up there. But as a kid growing up, if we got to pick, as far as I was concerned, the more sugar, the better, right? Like Lucky Charms was a big one on my list. Count Chocula was a big one on my list. And Count Chocula is not only chocolate cereal with chocolate chocolate mushrooms, chocolate marshmallows, but then it also turns the milk chocolate, you know, so when you're all done with it, you got chocolate milk to drink. So what is not great about Count Chocula? So I do love Count Chocula, and over the years, there have been a few things I've picked up. I got the Monster cereal, like a little record, and some other things like that. So, I mean, I'm not a huge collector of General Mills breakfast cereal things, you know, but yeah, there was something about that just you know, tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. The combination of the breakfast cereal and Count Chocula specifically, and the skateboard, you know. I did write this down before the show. There are 2 episodes of You Don't Know Flack. Episode 184 is all about skateboarding. So if you want to hear all my old skateboarding tales and things like that, go check out You Don't Know Flack, episode 184. And episode 162 is specifically about the arcade game 720, which I owned a 720 arcade cabinet, and if you want to hear all about that adventure. Also on Sprite Castle, episode 33 is about the game Skate or Die, and episode 14 is about 720, the Commodore 64 game. So I've talked about skateboarding quite a bit on my podcast before, but I don't think that I've ever talked about this thing. So I want you to get one more good look at it before I sign off here. But it's just, I thought about hanging this out there in the lobby outside my movie room, but it has this little hook here on the top you can see for hanging it. And there's kind of that little area I was talking about that looks like maybe it got dropped on the nose or something. But I have a screw right next to my door into this room, and this skateboard hangs right next to that. So every time I walk out of the room, I see it, and it makes me smile. It's just one of those fun things that I like. And like I said, I don't want to talk bad about any gift, because obviously anytime somebody gives you a gift, I appreciate it, and you should appreciate it, because it comes from that place of them wanting to get you something. And some are more thoughtful than others, but even if it's not thoughtful, it's definitely the idea that they're getting something, even if, oh no, it'll hang in there, buddy. That's, when somebody gets something that they know that you're going to love, and it's just a one-of-a-kind item, it just kind of all multiplies and makes it a super cool gift, and that's what this is. So, real quick, let me say that, oh my goodness. If you want to, that guy, you want to, support my podcast, you want to see more episodes of Rando, Rob, other things like that, go to patreon.com/Rob O'Hara. All my podcasts are on podcast.robohara.com. So if you want to see old episodes of You Don't Know Flack or Sprite Castle, everything's there. All my videos for my gameplay videos for the Commodore 64 are going up on YouTube under the Amigos Retro Gaming channel. So go to youtube.com/Amigos Retro Gaming and look for Sprite Castle Plays, which is a playlist underneath there. And you can see my Commodore 64 gameplay videos that I've been uploading. And thanks again to the Amigos, Aaron and Boat, for letting me piggyback on their network and throw Sprite Castle on there. I've got a lot of new listeners and a lot of people interested in the show, so that's been great for me. So thank you guys for checking out another episode of Rando Rob, and thank you for your Patreon support. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys next week. Come on, Noodle, it's time to open the door.